Hi, Gerhard Bloom, once again looking at the tyranny and the delusions of the social justice movement. So this very much is on the side of the tyranny equation, right? Certainly there's some delusion going on, but this is almost entirely tyranny. So Joe Biden and his administration getting tough on illegal immigration and migrants, right? Yep, a German family of 9. The couple, husband and wife, and their children, they since had a couple of kids in the United States, but arrived in the United States seeking asylum, came from Germany. Why were they seeking asylum? Well, they were trying to escape the public schools in Germany with its toxic leftist curriculum, particularly its anti-Christianity propaganda, its pro-abortion stance, teaching of homosexuality. Now, wherever you stand on the abortion issue or the homosexuality issue, or indeed Christianity, schools should not be preaching anti-Christian doctrine, ideology, pro-abortion or anti-abortion. Should be teaching kids to read and write and do math. And homosexuality. What does the school, what business is it to teach kids about, the wonderful freedoms of the homosexual lifestyle? No. Toxic nonsense. So these parents wanted to homeschool their kids. Well, in Nazi Germany, not entirely immune from fascist oppression, it's illegal. You can't homeschool your kids. But parents, the government had, prior to about 2006, largely turned a blind eye. They'd give you a small fine, off you go then. But oh no, after 2006, and of course this leftist ideology gets ramped up and the fascism for social justice increases. No, these parents were persecuted. And so they sought asylum in the United States. Well, in 2010, an immigration judge granted them asylum, right? Religious persecution, right? The Obama administration, yes, these, heroes for the oppressed and the socially marginalized, they appealed. They said, oh no, they weren't suffering persecution. They were suffering prosecution because these leftists want to ideologically indoctrinate your kids, send them off to school for that ideological indoctrination. This has been the leftist strategy its entire history. They see the education system as factories to produce, its militant warriors of the future. And they're doing precisely that. So in 2012, the Board of Immigration Appeals overturned this immigration judge. The Supreme Court, eventually it made its way up to the Supreme Court after bouncing through a couple of courts, declined to hear the case. But remember, that was 2012. I suspect the Supreme Court today would make a very different decision, right? Because it's persecution, religious persecution. And yes, you can be granted asylum for religious persecution. Unlike the millions and millions of people who have flooded across the southern border, granted temporary asylum, and they're almost entirely economic migrants, which is not grounds for asylum. It's nonsense. Not to mention the tens of thousands of Afghans that they shuttled in. These weren't the Afghan people that were vetted and we were supposed to provide safe passage to the United States for, right? Afghans who had risked their lives helping the American cause and their families. No, those people are dead, right? Killed by the Taliban. But this German couple, right? They, for 15 years, have been in the country. They have a couple of kids that were born in the United States. So yes, they're naturalized citizens. They're going to get all sent back to Germany because you can't leave little kids in the United States without their parents. So the whole family is being told it's got to pack up and go. These are decent, hard-working people, right? Their only crime is being Christian, right? If they had been Muslim, do you think they would be sending them off to Germany? No, they would, oh, they're persecuted, except Muslims aren't being persecuted in Germany at all. It is awful. This is the Biden administration, right? Fascist for social justice. And I feel terrible for this family, right? 15 years living in the country, patriotic, members of the United States citizenry. They're getting shuttled off, and millions of illegal immigrants are flooding American cities. And this is where Biden decides to act. Awful, and it's a tragedy. Tyranny for social justice. Anyways, thank you so much for your time and attention. If you enjoyed the video, please do drop a thumbs up. And please check out my book, Deconstructing Social Justice. It's available on Amazon. Not important because I wrote it. I wrote it because the issues could not be more important. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Bye-bye now.